Hey folks, this is Mansoor Suhail from My Learning Center. The topic of this article is Top Millennial Role Models You Should Know About. For a generation ridden with so many stereotypes and misconceptions, millennials still manage to do a great job of crossing the boundaries and limitations society has heavily burdened them with. Often perceived by the older generations as a group of entitled, oversharing, self-absorbed, and narcissistic bunch, we can surely conclude they are mostly misunderstood. On the other hand, they do not come short of praise, with a whole bouquet of unique abilities that are not possessed by any other generation before them. They sure are a blessing in this modern era. The generation gap between millennials and the others before them is one beyond age. The way of life has immensely evolved from how technology is now playing a vital role in our day-to-day living to even how the societal frame is being remodeled by the day. More often than not, millennials find it a bit difficult to relate to older generations the way they would with their fellows. Being expressive as they are, the generation is not short of success. Young people everywhere are taking strides and bold moves for themselves and their societies. Millennials brought with them an era of virtual, global societies which has people everywhere sharing their lives and successes. Encouragement and inspiration are at every turn, with a large part of generation being self-made influencers. We all look beyond ourselves to find inspiration from others who have walked the same path as us, people who can boost our morale. Although accused of being a lazy generation, many young people are indeed making a notable difference in their societies and the world at large in every sector. One cannot learn or be that which they cannot see. The same way to goal can only be realized if there is a clear vision. The same way we learn to walk, clean up after ourselves, and do all other various mundane things. When we were toddlers, observing and imitating, we find it easier to learn a new skill when we have a clear picture of it. Having someone you look up to in a certain area of your life has the very same effects. You get inspired, have a clear picture of what you want to be, and you get an estimate of the steps you are supposed to take to get there. That is the power of having a role model. Role models influence others by leading a life that can be seen as exemplary in terms of their perceived personal qualities, characters, and achievements, inspiring others to develop themselves in the same manner in the process. Millennials have countless number of inspirational young people who are leaving a mark and painting the world with inspiration. Here are some of the top millennial role models who have proven to be beacons of inspiration. Politics and activism. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, most known as AOC, is a young American politician reported as one of the youngest congresswomen, willing to see the desired change in her society. The Bronx, she took action from being a bartender to representing in Congress. She advocated for change not only in the Bronx, but also for global issues such as climate change. Erin Schrode is recognized by the White House as a dynamic, passionate, and ambitious young woman committed to creating change everywhere she goes. She is involved in eco-education and also in charity work with a non-profit organization she's part of. Even after running for US Congress in California and losing her bid for office, she continues in acts of service to the global community. Colin Kaepernick is a political activist known for his protest against police brutality when he knelt during the national anthem at the start of the NFL games in the United States. His action inspired a wider protest movement. I couldn't help but mention a few other names that might fall a bit short in years to be called millennials, but they are powerhouse advocating for change. Malala Yousafzai, a Pakistan activist who is the youngest Nobel Prize laureate, is a role model to young people everywhere, not only for her story of survival, but also for her advocacy towards female education. We can also speak of Greta Thunberg for her activism towards climate change. Let's talk about business and entrepreneurship. Mark Zuckerberg, known as one of the richest millennial entrepreneurs, is a role model to many. After designing a design page as a varsity student, which ended up growing to be the most used social network website in the world, Facebook, he has become an inspiration to young techs all over the world. Sports. Sports has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people in a way that little else does. It speaks to the youth in a language they understand. Sport can create hope where once there was despair. It is more powerful than the government in breaking down racial barriers, as Nelson Mandela says. Cristiano Ronaldo is a globally recognized soccer player from Portugal who has won countless titles with major clubs. He is a footballing idol to the young and old globally for his extraordinary talent, as well as an inspiration to fellow footballers. Sadio Mane from Senegal, regarded as one of the best soccer players in the world, is also seen as one of the most influential youths in his country. He is also involved in charity as he seeks to give back to his society by helping in the education and health sector. Stephen Curry, a successful NBA player who is outspoken about his Christian faith, inspiring other millennials to be proud of their beliefs. He is also an investor in a Christian apparel brand. Thank you very much for listening, folks. Join our Facebook group, My Learning Center, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, My Learning Center.